Hi everyone, I hope you're all well, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make use of Zoom. Zoom is a piece of free online conferencing software that you can use to stay in touch with friends, family and colleagues. Now not only can you join or host meetings, but the great thing about it at the moment is that lots of companies and organisations are currently using it to run lots of free classes, so it's really useful to know how to use. Zoom is available for free download either on your phone or on your laptop or PC. To get Zoom on your laptop or PC, all you need to do is head over to the Zoom website where you can sign up for an account. Using your email address, you can create an account and you'll then have the option to download Zoom. So you'll notice here, if I click on the sign up for free button, because I've already got a Zoom account, it takes me straight to my dashboard. But if you haven't got an account, simply sign up with your email address and you'll be directed to the same page. So in this video, we're going to take a look at how to do a couple of things. The first one is how to host a meeting. So if I hover over here in the top right hand corner, over host a meeting, you'll notice I've got three options. One is with video on, one is with video off, or the other is screen share only. Now for demonstration purposes and for this video, we're going to go with video on. So after I've clicked on hosting a meeting with video turned on, I'm then presented with this launch screen. Now this is where you can download and run Zoom if you haven't already got it. All you need to do is simply click down here and it will download a file to install the program, and it usually takes a couple of minutes to install. And once you've done that, you can come back to this screen. Now because I've already got Zoom installed, it just comes up here with Open Zoom. So I'm going to click that and it will take a couple of seconds to just create a meeting. Now you'll notice after a couple of seconds it pops up. I've got this option to join with computer audio, which I'm going to do. And we've now created our very own meeting. So this is what a Zoom meeting looks like. And what I'm going to do is briefly talk you through the different little icons that we've got at the bottom below and what they do. So we're going to start over here in the bottom left-hand corner, which is the audio button. So that's represented by a microphone, and basically what we can do here is either mute or unmute ourselves. So if I click on that, I've now muted my audio. If I click off that, I'm then unmuted. Now this is really handy if you're in a meeting or if you're in an online class and you only want to hear what the instructor or what the person speaking is saying. It's really great to do that because it blocks out any background noise. And the other thing we can do here is stop our video, so it just comes up with your name, and again you can turn your video on. Now you have got a couple of options in here. If you click on either of these two arrows, it brings up some settings. You can go into like audio settings, and if you want to turn your microphone up or turn the audio up from when other people are talking, then you've got the option to do that. Again, you can do similar sorts of things with the video. Now in the security section, I'm not going to go too much into detail like this, but you can do things like lock the meeting. So for example, if you're doing a family quiz, once everyone who you want to join has joined, you can then lock the meeting to prevent anyone else joining. We've got a participants icon, so this shows us how many people are currently in the meeting. Obviously it's just me at the moment, but we're going to come back to this in a minute and I can explain to you how we go about inviting people to the meeting. We've then got a chat icon, so if we've got lots of people in the meeting, we can type messages. Maybe if we're doing a family quiz, we can type answers in there or anything like that. Now if you click on these three little dots here, you can choose whether to send messages to everyone, whether you want people to be able to send messages privately to each other, and there's all sorts of things you can do like that. We've then also got the option to share screens. So for example, say you're with friends and you're just catching up and you've seen a funny YouTube video that you want to share, for example, you can share your screen with them so they can also see the video. So you've got a couple of options there. We can then record our screen, which is quite useful. If there's an important part of a meeting or a class that you're in, you can use this screen record button to make sure that you capture that. And we've then got reactions as well. So if someone says something that you agree with, for example, you can use the thumbs up or the clapping emoji. Now that is a very quick walkthrough, but that's essentially all we really need to know to get going with Zoom. Now the one thing that I did want to come back to is the participants icon, because this is where we can invite other people to join our meeting. So if we click on the invite button, you'll notice we've got this screen here. Now what you can do here is choose to invite people to your meeting. There's a number of ways you can do this. Now I personally prefer to use the email way of inviting people, but it's personal preference. Now I have a Gmail account, so if I click on the Gmail icon, it takes me to a separate screen, and you can see that Zoom creates an email for me. So what it says in the email is join Zoom meeting, and there's a link here to the meeting, and then there's a meeting ID and a password. So what I can do is type in the email address of the people that I want to join my meeting and simply send them an email, and they'll receive the Zoom meeting link, and then when they click on that, all they have to do is enter the meeting ID and the password, and then they'll be able to join my meeting. Okay, so other ways to invite people rather than using email, again, is to click on the invite button, and you can do copy invitation or copy URL. Now again, my personal preference would be to copy the invitation, because what that does is copies everything that you just saw in that email, so the link, the meeting ID and the password, but rather than opening it up into an email, it just copies it. So you can head over to Twitter or Facebook and say that you're running a quiz, for example. You can just post on your Facebook that link with the meeting ID and the password, and then anyone who sees that will be able to join. Obviously, just a quick word of warning, if you do post things like that out on social media, you might get people join randomly who you don't know, so it's probably best to stick with email. The last thing is, once we're done with the meeting that we're hosting, we can click end meeting. And again, we've got a couple of options here. So we can either choose to just leave the meeting. Now, if we do that, what that means is we'll leave, but the other participants will remain in the meeting. So if, for example, we had 10 people in the meeting and I wanted to leave, I could then assign someone else to be the host of the meeting. I could leave and the other people could stay, or I can end the meeting for all. I'm going to do that now, and that will end the meeting. Okay, so we're back to the Zoom dashboard, and the next thing we're going to have a look at is how to join a meeting. So we're going to click up here on join a meeting. And now, if you remember from when we chose to host a meeting and we could send out emails to invite people to join, the email would send out a meeting ID, and all you do is simply enter that ID into this little box here. Now I'm just going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I could click join. And sometimes if meetings have got passwords, you'd then be asked to enter a password in, and then it would allow you into the meeting, and it really is that simple. Now we're going to have a quick look at how to use the Zoom app on a mobile phone. Now if you're using iPhone, you can head over to the App Store and download the Zoom app, or if you're using Android, you can head over to the Play Store and download the Zoom app. Now you'll notice when I open the app, it's very simple to use, and I've got all the same sort of options as what I had on the PC or desktop version. So first of all, if I click on new meeting, you'll notice that I've got the option to start a new meeting, and I can again choose whether I want my video on or off, and it also gives me the personal meeting ID. Then all I do is simply start a meeting, and after a couple of seconds, here I am. I've basically created my own meeting again with just myself in. I can then end that meeting by clicking up there. Now I've also got the option to join meetings, so if I click on the join icon, I can then enter a meeting ID. So for example, if a host wanted me to join, they could send me over an email. Again, in that email would include the meeting ID and password if there was one. I could then tap that in here, and then I could click join. I've also got some other things about schedules, so if I was having a look at scheduling a meeting or something like that, then I've got the option to do that in there, and also the ability to share a screen. And I've also got a couple of other things down here about contacts and some settings that I can change on my phone, but it's dead simple to use. It really is that easy. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick demonstrational video on how to use Zoom, and don't forget to stay up to date with all of our social media channels by following the links in the description box below.